Welcome back to CruiseAway, everyone. Always wonderful to have you pop in every day here on Gecko to see some of the most beautifully orchestrated holiday opportunities here in Australia. I'm Derek Marks, and it's my great pleasure to showcase what our team here with over 25 years of cruise and holiday experience can make happen for you. We have half an hour together and we've packed it full of the most incredible adventures. Later on in the show, we take you around the world to see Cunard's Queens in a beautiful formation in a holiday, and if they were synchronized sailing, taking you from Sydney to New York to London to Iceland to Barcelona and Rome over 45 incredible nights for June in 2025. Now that is going to be an epic adventure, and we've taken on the task of all the arrangements for you. You'll absolutely love it. But let's get this show started with an altogether different adventure, actually, one of luxury, relaxation, river cruising, and some of the most romantic and picturesque parts of the world as we take to Vive la France on a dream away package called Paris Vineyards and Canals, featuring a cruise which is sheer dreams from Azamara. It's a 3-week break for the 4th of June, and we're flying straight from Sydney to one of the most spectacular cities, Paris in France. And when we arrive in Paris, let's unwind and take in this city with a 3-night hotel stay, which is just perfect. Do you know, I was just in Paris just a few weeks ago, and what an amazing city. As a tourist, it's absolutely phenomenal. You've got so many choices. Of course, you've got the big attractions like the Eiffel Tower. Make sure you take a river cruise on the Seine as well and pass the Louvre, the Musée d'Orsay, the Notre Dame Cathedral. Disneyland Paris is not far away as well if you fancy taking the family there. Now from Paris we take the TGV high-speed intercity service through to Bordeaux, and we've got 2 nights in a hotel in Bordeaux as well. Of course, you'll know the word straight away from bottles that you've enjoyed over the years. Of course, some amazing wine from this region. So maybe a wine tour excursion you might fancy arranging for yourself, or head to the gardens and parks there and wander the Saint-Pierre district, which is the old town in Bordeaux. Lots to see there. And then it is time for the most incredible 12 nights of all-inclusive Azamara Quest cruising. Now you are going to have the time of your life, basically every whim taken care of for you throughout your journey. And a wonderful journey it is as well, because we're actually taking a France immersive cruise here. Now Azamara are just amazing, they really are, because they take all the hard work, all the arrangements, and they take all the stress out of a holiday for you, and you just relax in luxury, in comfort. Now this is almost akin to kind of a luxury yacht charter. If you, like many people around the world, are tuning in to things like Below Deck and those kind of series, then this is much more that kind of affair, much more one-to-one kind of service, much more space for you to relax, not crowded cruising. This is something where there could be many, many more people on board actually, but they purposely have a lower number of passengers on board, so you get that feeling of just immersion. It's time to switch off and enjoy the wonderful scenery and indeed the wonderful exploration that you'll be taking across your 12-night cruise. So much included with Azamara as well, including what's called an Azamazing evening, and I'll talk to you about that as we go through the itinerary as well, because Azamara have some special treats lined up along the way. Of course, the food and cuisine on board is absolutely 5-star, and of course the food offerings are kind of in step with your destinations as well. So this is your chance to have a very, very individual, bespoke, almost tailored journey, going into ports, of course, that the larger ships can't necessarily get into, which is phenomenal. Now, your first night of the cruise actually stays in Bordeaux, so you have some extra time there before you set sail and start cruising up the Garonne River, where it meets the Dordogne, and out in the Bay of Biscay to La Rochelle, which is a wonderful port known as the White City for its limestone cliffs there. Wonderful, quaint walkways to wander, and it's a great port town. Then we're cruising up the Loire Valley into Nantes, and we have an overnight here, so 2 full days. Wonderful shore excursions here to explore the city, or go explore medieval Guranda and the salt marshes. Of course, there are lots of excursions on offer from Azamara as well, and they've been curated over many years of experience. Heading further up the coast in France, we're in Brest next, where you can head to Quimper or to the Brest Botanical Gardens. It's a beautiful part of France, actually, and this should be a very, very nice time of year. The temperatures should be nice and sunny and beautiful this time of year. Then we move over to the Channel Islands, St. Peter Port in Guernsey. Now, you can explore Guernsey's capital there. You can take cliff walks, enjoy a wonderful cream tea, or just take a leisurely tour of the dramatic coast, which will be lovely. Next, back over to France, to Saint-Malo, which is beautiful. I've walked around it many times, around the walled city there. Absolutely beautiful. Mont Saint-Michel that you see in the top picture there is absolutely beautiful. And of course, enjoy some lovely crepes too. Then we're off to Cherbourg. Now, here's where we have our As Amazing Evening, an evening of American jazz by the D-Day Ladies, which is performed in the Food and Flower Market at the historic terminal, and that's included as part of your cruise, which will be a very special event. Then we move on to Honfleur. Now, excursions from here take you to some of the locations that inspired Monet for his paintings, actually, or maybe you fancy a day up into Paris as well to go and see the Eiffel Tower or the many attractions there. On to Bruges next, of course, home of the most delicious chocolate in the world, or maybe take a tour into cosmopolitan Brussels from here and go and see its medieval and Baroque plazas. It's certainly a beautiful, beautiful country. Then we head to the Netherlands and we've arrived into Amsterdam. Now, we've got 2 full days in Amsterdam, which is wonderful. We've got an overnight on the cruise, so your last night on the cruise is in Amsterdam, and then you've got a 2-night hotel stay as well. So in all, you've got 3 nights in Amsterdam. Oh my word, you lucky, lucky people. So you can see how Amsterdam changes from day to night. Very, very interesting at night. It's fascinating. Of course, you've got things like the Anne Frank Museum, the Diamond Museum, cruise the canals here. Head further afield to The Hague or Rotterdam if you fancy. And after your stay in a hotel in Amsterdam for a couple of nights, that's when we fly back to Sydney, and we'll have just had the most incredible time. I mean, you are going through what is here a really lovely itinerary, which is full of history, full of culture, full of activity. I love the arrangement of the itinerary itself as well. It almost feels like you're river cruising and ocean cruising all together in one journey. Of course, that means that you can really immerse in wine country here. Lots of these regions, of course, you're spending time in Bordeaux, which is very famous for its wine. So maybe you come back just that little bit more educated when it comes to that bottle of white or red. So this is coming up in June, and let's talk about what's going to be included in your price tag. It's 3 weeks of such amazing contrast for you, and remember, it's adventure all the way. So included in the price, the flight from Sydney over to Paris in France, 3 wonderful nights there in a hotel to explore the city before taking that TGV train, that's the high-speed intercity train journey from Paris over to Bordeaux. Then we've got 2 nights for you in a hotel there to enjoy the vibrant city before you have those 12 nights of Azamara Quest cruising. And remember, that's a France intensive voyage, and it's going to be served up in style as well. Boutique ports in some of France's most stunning destinations. And remember, you've got longer in port with Azamara as well, getting into those ports that the larger ships can't. And there's so much more included in your cruise price as well. Things like select drinks, gratuities, and many more. Now, the cruise includes a stop in Belgium before ending in Amsterdam in the Netherlands with an extra overnight there on board before we check into a hotel there for 2 nights and then fly back from Schiphol, the airport in Amsterdam, back home to Sydney. Oh my word. Now, that sounds very expensive, doesn't it? It sounds like a costly holiday because it is very, very bespoke and tailored. But look at this price tag here. I think you'll be suitably impressed when you see this. I mean, Azamara is way up there in terms of the luxury cruise line market. You will be so well looked after there, and so much is included. And that's not just the physical things like, you know, drinks and dining and things like that, but it is the level of service, that more intimate level of service, that wonderful concierge that you can call on to make any arrangements for you as well. Plus the caliber of the excursions that they offer. And of course, here at CruiseAway, we've put all of the arrangements together and covered it all and protected every dollar of your spend as one with our protection. $7,399 per person. Now listen, I know you'll have questions, and I know you'll want to talk to one of our team about a holiday like this. You might want to tailor it slightly. So that's why your phone number is always there on the screen. 1300 411 954. Now, we do have upgrades available on board the ship as well on the Azamara Quest, so let's have a look at the prices for those. Have to tell you, considering the price of your holiday, for an extra $99 to go up to your ocean view is amazing. In fact, you could call it as amazing. I would definitely recommend it to you. I mean, listen, every stateroom on Azamara Quest is unbelievable. It's like beyond boutique hotel. There is so much there included for you to make your journey as comfortable and as luxurious feeling. And listen, don't feel because you're on a cruise that every 12 nights every one of the 12 nights you need to be dressed up to the nines to go down to dinner. If you just want that cozy, just dinner in the stateroom delivered to you, absolutely fine. All included in the price tag as well. Incredible. And you're going to love life on board. Listen, if you want to know more, 1300 411 954. Remember, you call us toll free, so it does not cost you a cent. Now, I mentioned before that we've got one of the most beautifully curated offers, and we've had a similar one to this previously on the shows here at CruiseAway. And it has been a runaway success. Well, we've managed to do it again. Bring Cunard Line together in one holiday package over 45 nights on the 10th of June in 2025. And this takes you here, there, and everywhere. Take a deep breath, because this is a big journey. We start first by flying you from Sydney straight to the Big Apple, straight to New York in the USA, and we're spending 3 nights there in a hotel. Oh my word, I long to be in New York, because I think everyone comes away from New York with a different story, because there are so many different things that you can be doing whilst you're in New York. Going to Ellis Island, head to the Battery in Manhattan. I was looking through and doing some research on Manhattan. The things you can do just in Manhattan. Fifth Avenue is there. Billionaires Row is there. Times Square is there. So much to enjoy. Anyway, you have 3 nights in a hotel there, and the first of the 3 queens on this holiday for you is the mighty Queen Mary 2. Now, she is doing the quintessential transatlantic journey for you, taking you from New York over to Southampton in the UK. So this is a fully at sea cruise where you can really drink in the Cunard traditions, that wonderful touch of class at every step of your, I don't really want to call this a cruise, because you don't really cruise with Cunard. Cunard is your ultimate pinnacle. It's kind of, if you've got a lot of cruises under your belt, this is kind of, in your career of cruising, this is like your highlights. This is like your pinnacle. This is what you've been waiting for. That wonderful white glove service, wonderful afternoon tea, shows in the Royal Court Theatre, everything done beautifully. And of course, you've got such a relaxing cruise as well. 7 nights of cruising over from New York across to Southampton in the UK. Imagine that sail out of New York as well, past the Statue of Liberty. Well, you don't have to imagine it, you can be there. Now, when you arrive in Southampton, this is where we swap ships, but they're in the same port, which is brilliant. They'll be moored up, I'm sure, probably next to each other. So we leave Queen Mary 2 and we board Queen Anne, which of course is the latest of the Cunard fleet. And she is stunning and she is amazing. And you might think, okay, she's the newest. Will she be vastly different? Will she lose that sense of flair, that that kind of traditional, sophisticated cruising feel? The answer is absolutely not. She's got every essence of that, from the fine dining to the wonderful surroundings that you're in. You've got so many dining choices as well. You're going to love, listen, if you go to the main restaurant for main dining every night of your 14-night cruise on Queen Anne, you will have come back and said to yourselves, oh my word, for what we paid for this holiday, we've felt like royals through most of this holiday. Because remember, 45 nights is a long, long time. You need to pace yourself for a holiday like this, but the lion's share of it, you're on these Cunard voyages. So you are relaxing in style. Of course, this one is a little bit more energetic because it's a 14-night cruise. So obviously we have places to visit as well along the way. And you'll love the itinerary that we're taking on this one because we are heading north from the UK and we're heading up to Iceland for some incredible scenic cruising as well. Just look at the surroundings, in the staterooms, in the public areas, in the wonderful restaurants. Everything about a Cunard voyage just screams sophistication, just screams that height of luxury. And I tell you what, the chance to really breathe out and enjoy a holiday. Here's where we're going then. Out of Southampton, we head over to Belfast in Northern Ireland first. Lots of history in Belfast, of course. They've got the new Titanic Museum there as well, so you can hear more about the story of the Titanic and where it was built. And the wonderful city centre itself is a great welcome. Then we head up to Iceland. We're in Reykjavik first, and we've got 2 full days here, which is amazing. So we have an overnight. So much to see. Of course, the geothermal Blue Lagoon is there, and the city itself is well worth wandering through. Then we head through some more ports in Iceland. Ísafjörður is first, and as the name suggests, they are fjordland as well. So it's almost like you are sailing through these enormous canals. You are eye to eye with the mountainous scenery around you. Akureyri is next, and I have to tell you, the lake there at the top, again, looks fascinating. You can go horse riding in places like this as well. That's quite a nice adventure to be done, and a kind of leisurely pace as well. We're doing some scenic cruising around some of the fjords in Iceland before we head down to Stornoway in Scotland, over there on the Western Isles of Scotland. Again, steeped in history and wonderful, wonderful little islands that are not overly inhabited as well. So real nature at its best. Then we've got the port for Glasgow, which is Greenock. Glasgow is a wonderful city to wander around, and again, full of these lovely scenery around you, all the places and castles as well. Then we'll leave Queen Anne in Southampton, but as you can see now, we're looking at London, because the next 2 nights when we leave Queen Anne, we're in a hotel in central London, which is incredible. So you can enjoy all the adventures there are to do in the capital of the UK. I guess you'll want to go and see if the King and Queen are in at Buckingham Palace. I guess you'll want to see the Tower of London. I guess you'll want to be up in the London Eye, getting some of the best views over the city. Well, you've got 2 nights to do that, and you can see now we're in a completely different city because we're flying out of London and across to Spain to Barcelona. Barcelona, again, a beautiful city. We've got a night in a hotel there to explore before our 3rd Queen is here, and this time it's Queen Victoria. But the thing is, our holiday isn't really coming to an end yet, because this cruise is another 14-night cruise. So you've got another 2 weeks of cruising, and I imagine you kind of know where we're going to be heading. Out of Barcelona, we're going to be going around the Mediterranean to some beautiful, beautiful cities. Well, Queen Victoria, again, all of that wonderful elegance, something that Cunard do incredibly well. In fact, actually, I was in Las Vegas in October, September, when was it? Not September, not that long ago, actually. And there's a wonderful Cunard story, actually, within the Luxor Hotel. And I learned an awful lot. And actually, part of Cunard's offering when you're on board, there's a little pub that you can just hide away in for a cheeky little pint, if you like, in the afternoon. But actually, part of what Cunard offer is their own story as well and their own heritage, because it is fascinating, and they've lost not an ounce of that sophistication, the service and the style that's offered on board. Looks amazing, doesn't it? So we're cruising this time out of Barcelona, so let's head our way down first down the coast to Valencia, of course, the home of the famous Ladro horses factory, which are absolutely beautiful. The detail in those over the years is stunning. Then we're in Corsica, in Ajaccio. Now, very, very scenic here, and this is where we can be talking wine country all over again. There's a bit of a theme running through this show, isn't there? But there are wineries there that you can go and enjoy if you want to. Then we're off to Nice. Now we're off to flashy France, really. This is where the rich and famous park their money, isn't it? And go and visit it every now and again. Beautiful down the French Riviera, and you've got the old town as well, which looks super nice. Your camera will be very, very busy. Now, Livorno in Italy next. Now, Livorno's excellent for Florence and Pisa because an excursion can take you to both in a day, but the Cinque Terre, you can see up there on the top picture, is stunning and incredible. Lots of people head there. Next, we're in the port for Rome, Civitavecchia. Beautiful. You can go and see the Colosseum, the Pantheon, all the major attractions there. You have to throw a few cents into the Trevi Fountain as well while you go there. It's just a wonderful city, really is. On back to France now, and we're in Toulon, which has the most incredible art museum. That Mount Faron cable car looks pretty exciting as well, doesn't it, on that picture down at the bottom? Very nice. Then we make our way into Alghero, should I say. And again, this is beautiful. Really, really nice places to go and visit. Of course, there are lots and lots of excursion opportunities offered to you around these ports from Cunard as well. Messina, beautiful. Taormina is very, very nearby, and it is stunning to see. And of course, all under the shadow of Mount Etna, who's had a recent little eruption, but nothing to worry about. I'm here. She's out in the middle of nowhere, actually, but quite nice to see. Next, we're in Naples. So this is your chance to go and explore Pompeii. They've made some recent discoveries at Pompeii as well, so it's forever changing, even though it's a very, very ancient site. And then we arrive back into Civitavecchia, which is the port for Rome. And this is where we leave our final cruise, but we're staying in Rome. We've got an extra couple of nights there, which is really, really handy because there are some beautiful restaurants. What I would always say in Rome is go 2 streets back, anywhere in Italy, find the restaurants where the locals eat and have some wonderful, wonderful food. You're going to love it. And of course, this time of year, it's beautiful. You are talking height of summer by the time you're spending that time in Rome at the end of the holiday. So, do you know what? Actually, normally I'd be quite exhausted at the end of talking about 45 nights of holiday. But if you look at the way this is paced, I just think it's perfect. I think it's very, very manageable. I think for those people who want to be that little bit braver with their holiday choices and go away for a little bit longer, I mean, the thing with this is because you are starting, you know, with the big flight, you're getting that out of the way at the beginning. It's quite nice to have some wonderful pace to that as well. It really is beautiful, isn't it? I mean, I love the sound of this myself. Have you got room for me? I only take up a tiny corner in the, little bit in the corner of your suitcase. I'm sure I can fit in there. So 45 nights in all. You're going to love this. Starts on the 10th of June in 2025. Now, you can secure our exclusive CruiseAway price now for a deposit of just $550 each today. So the price that I'm going to give you includes the flight from Sydney over to New York in the States, 3 nights in a hotel there, then cruise number 1, which is your transatlantic on the Queen Mary 2 from New York over to Southampton, 7 luxurious nights, relaxing and enjoying the Cunard treat. When you arrive in Southampton, you swap Queen Mary 2 for Queen Anne for a 2-week cruise to Belfast, Iceland and Scotland. Back to Southampton in the UK, and then it's time to see London. You'll have 2 nights in a London hotel before you fly off to the next cruise in Barcelona. You'll have 1 night in Barcelona before your 2-week cruise around the Mediterranean, and you're going to love that one. It's Spain, Corsica, France, Italy and Sicily, and that cruise ends, as we just saw, back in Rome. 2 nights in a hotel there, and of course the flight back from Rome to Sydney. Remember, just $550 each today as a deposit secures this exclusive CruiseAway price tag, saving at least $2,000 per person based on the market rates today. I mean, that is superb. I mean, if you think of the length of holiday, if you think you have 3 Cunard cruises, or voyages, I should say, in that holiday, and you are saving at least $2,000 each versus the market rates, so the price that if you were trying to arrange all of this yourself, you would be paying at least $2,000 more each. Today, you can secure this deal, lock in this exclusive price for a deposit of just $550 each. Let's take a look at upgrades in terms of the cruises as well. Now, when it comes to transfers as well, by the way, if you want to secure a package of transfers just to make the whole journey even more seamless, then talk to the team on 1300 411 954. Have to tell you, for the price you have on your screen there, I just don't know. I just don't know. Well, I'll tell you what, I do know actually. It's 25 plus years of travel experience under our belts here at CruiseAway. It's nothing to do with me, nothing to do with the studio. It's the amount of people that book their cruise holidays with us, which makes our buying power with the cruise line stronger. We already have an amazing relationship with them anyway. And 25 years of that relationship as well, because travel, trying to pin down a price tag for travel is like trying to knit a milkshake. It's really, really difficult to hold one price in place. So what we do, and we do this years ahead, is we sit down with all of the major cruise lines. We are a worldwide business as well. We're not just here in Australia, we are around the world. We use that combined buying power with the cruise lines to do some big deals at a very, very high level. People often think, I'm going to get a better price if I go directly to the cruise line. For a holiday like this, you are getting the very, very best, beyond the best deal actually, because the market rate for this holiday would turn out to be at least $2,000 more per person. So that price would look closer to 9, 10, 11, 12, I had to do the maths there. That would be $12,000 plus. Now, that saving is giving you more budget to enjoy that holiday. Remember, you've got great times to be had in Rome, in New York, in London, all of those wonderful ports that you are taking the voyages around. So saving $2,000 plus before you've started the holiday is a great way to start the holiday. Maybe this is a momentous occasion. Maybe this is you saying, that's it, work's done. It's time for the treats now. Maybe this is you and your other half saying, you know what? Let's mark those 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, but don't leave it. Don't leave it, because life is all about grabbing today's opportunity, and that is today's opportunity. And I have to say, that's us out of time for today as well. Don't forget to come and join us every day here on Gecko. We're here at 1 and 4 in the afternoon, and I would love to have your company with my wonderful colleagues here at CruiseAway. I'll see you back here soon. Take care.